Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome, it's Matt, and I have a really great video for you today. I'm going to be recommending some CDs that I think you're going to find to be fantastic, and I highly recommend them. I suggest you check them out. Okay, now, I'm watching the Stephen Schnee channel one day, and for those of you that do not check out the Stephen Schnee channel, that's Stephen with a PH, and his last name is S-C-H-N-E-E, Stephen Schnee. Great guy. He does great reviews of power pop and rock and roll albums. He shows a lot of stuff. He also has a podcast where he interviews people, some well-known people in the rock and roll and power pop community. He's just a great guy. He's a writer for several magazines and whatnot, music writer, journalist, great guy, very talented man. Well, I watch his channel all the time, and I get a lot of great recommendations from him about music, as you know. I'll give you one key one that he gave to me, and that was the Wilkerson album. Any of you out there that watch my channel and have gotten into the Wilkerson album, well, you can thank Stephen Schnee, because he's the one that turned me on to Wilkerson. So anyway, I'm watching his channel one day, and he's talking about this new album. It's a new compilation album, and it's called White Lace and Promises, the music of Paul Williams. And basically what it is today's indie artist and power pop artist reimagining the songs of this great talented man, Paul Williams, Mr. Paul Williams. He's still with us, thank goodness. I believe he's in his late 70s now. But any of you that know music, you know who Paul Williams is. You know what a great songwriter he is. He's been in movies, he's an actor, he's been on talk shows over the decades. Just a very talented man, very personable guy, and did well in all facets of the entertainment field. Well, anyway, he's written some great songs, and so I know his music. He's written stuff like for the Carpenters, and he wrote the famous song Evergreen. You all know that song, and he wrote the music for the first Muppet movie. I mean, I could go on and on about what this man has done. He's so much. But anyway, I went, because of Stephen's recommendation, I went to Spotify and listened to this album, and I loved it so much. I said, this is fantastic. And I love the originals of these songs, but to hear some new artists from today reimagining these songs in their own, keeping true to the original's intent, but adding their own flavor to it, it just blew me away. Just to see it brought up to today's era, the songs are just unbelievable. I've got it playing in the background, as a matter of fact. You might pick up on some of it. So I said, well, I got to find out more about this stuff. And so one day I was listening to Stephen, as I said, also does a podcast. And he was doing a podcast with a gentleman by the name of Andrew Curry, C-U-R-R-Y, Andrew Curry. And the podcast, if you want to know, Stephen's podcast is called Beach Blanket Fort Bingo. Beach Blanket Fort, F-O-R-T, Bingo. And the producer, the owner, the operator of Curry Cuts, which is the record company that produces these albums, is Andrew Curry. Now, Andrew is a music fan, very passionate about music, from what I can gather, you know, listening to the podcast with him and what I could read and do research about this. Very passionate about his music. He's just a fan, or he started out as just a fan like you and I. He's probably around my age. It sounded like he grew up loving that light rock period, you know, that AM radio staples from the 70s and into the early 80s. He really loved that music. And so he was online, I guess on Facebook or one of those online sites, and he was sharing his love for this kind of music with friends and other people online, and the interest started to grow on it. And anyway, he got this idea at some point, Mr. Curry did, to ask some of the best indie artists that he was in contact with from his online excursions if they would have an interest in recording some of these songs. Now, not from the Paul Williams one. He wanted to focus on light rock, that music he loved from the 70s and early 80s. So he asked the indie artist if they would be interested in doing that. And he was blown away that he got such a large response, because many agreed, and it started to snowball, and a lot of people wanted to be involved in his very first project. That first project was this one right here. It's called Drink a Toast to Innocence, a tribute to light rock. I'll hold it up nice and close for you there. This was produced by Andrew Curry in 2013. Okay, here's the back. You get 2 discs. Show you the inside. Just opens up like that with the 2 discs on each side here. And he got such a great response to this first album, and I love this album. This was probably one of my favorites of all the ones that Andrew has produced. He got such a great response to this, and people were like, "You've got to do it again. You've got to do something else." And what happened was he said, "Well, what can I do next?" You know, he didn't want to go like, "Okay, I did you know, light rock into the early '80s. I'm going to stick with the same genre." He wanted to mix it up a little bit and do a different genre of music. So for his second CD in 2014, he produced this album called "Here Comes the Rain Again: The Second British Invasion," which is basically the genre he's focusing in on here is called 80s Britpop, if you want to call it that. So you get stuff like "Life in a Northern Town," "Goody Two Shoes," "Everybody Wants to Rule the World," "Every Time You Go Away," "Cruel Summer," "Tenderness," "Dancing with Myself," "Freedom," "They Don't Know." All that Britpop stuff is on this CD right here, folks. Again, this one was produced by Andrew Curry in 2014. Okay, fabulous. Like I say, to hear artists from today, the indie artists of today, reimagining these songs, it just will blow you away. It's so good. Just so great. And let me go back a minute because I neglected to give you some of the idea what's on the first one that he produced in 2013. But songs like "We Don't Talk Anymore," "Just When I Needed You Most," "Don't Give Up on Us," "Things We Do for Love," "Believe It or Not," "Sentimental Lady," "Magnet and Steel," "Undercover Angel," "Baby Come Back," "More Than I Can Say," "Dance With Me." I'm just going to give you a sampling here. "Shannon," "Shake It," "Wildfire," "Fooled Around and Fell in Love." You get the idea on the first one from 2013. But picture some cool indie artists from today reimagining them, and it goes hand in hand. It's just fantastic. Second one came out in 2014, as I said, great. Then a couple of years went by, and then he said, "Well, what can I do for the next genre of music?" So what he did with this one is to cover a wide range of years, but cover a lot of ground, but the same focus on one particular genre. He chose the songs of James Bond films. So in 2017, Andrew Curry produced this one, "Songs, Bond Songs," which I love that title. The music of 007. And basically what I love about this one is it covers 2 discs. All right, I'll give you a little gander of the inside. Opens up again here. You got the 2 discs and a booklet. Basically what this one is, it starts with the James Bond theme, and it works chronologically through every James Bond movie up to the most recent one. So it starts out with the James Bond theme, goes into "From Russia with Love," "Goldfinger," "Thunderball," and it works its way through every Bond song right up until "Skyfall" and "Writings on the Wall" from the last film, I believe, the one that came out after Skyfall. I can't think of the name of it right now. But anyway, so all these indie artists reimagined every Bond song. It's unbelievable. It's fantastic to hear some of the versions of these songs. And yes, there is a version of "Live and Let Die" from the movie Live and Let Die, and the band that does it is called the Pop Dudes, and they do a heck of a job. They do a fantastic job on "Live and Let Die." You're gonna love it. So he did this one in 2017, which was beautiful. And then, as I said, to get back, bring this full circle again, the one I saw Stephen Schnee reviewing was "White Lace and Promises." This is the brand new one that just came out in 2018. And it's just so fantastic. I'll give you a look at the inside here. I've got the CD on right now. But you got songs like "Evergreen" by the Davenports. Beautiful. You got songs by that Paul wrote for Three Dog Night on here. The Carpenters. Paul Williams actually wrote the Love Boat theme. How many remember the Love Boat theme from the 70s TV show? Well, it's a great version here. The band that does the Love Boat theme does a fantastic job. All the artists that do the songs from the first Muppet movie, like "Rainbow Connection" and "Moving Right Along." You remember those songs from when some of you were a kid like me watching the Muppet movie? I shouldn't say I was a kid. I was kind of a teenager, but I saw the Muppet movie. I liked it. What are you going to do? That's on here. They do a great job. That song by, just played a little while ago, the one by "You and Me Against the World," I think was done by Helen Reddy in the 70s. And if you heard the woman who did it here, her name is Lisa Michaels. Beautiful job. It's fantastic. So on this one, you're getting 23 songs on one disc, not two like the other sets, but one disc, 23 songs. It's chock full of great music, folks. It's beautiful. I can't highly recommend these enough. I gotta tip my hat to Andrew Curry from Curry Cuts, who produced all these albums, because he's just a fan like you and I who had an idea. He got an idea, and it sparked and stemmed from there, and look what we got. All these beautiful albums produced by his company. So thank you to Andrew. Thanks for doing that. And folks, can't highly recommend these enough. Check them out. All you have to do, if you want to get some of these or sample them, all you have to do is go to Pandora, go to Spotify, go to like Apple Music or something, and check some of them out. You're going to be blown away by the versions done by today's artists with these songs. And if you want to get a hard copy like I got, you can go to places like CD Baby or Amazon. But better than that, my best recommendation is, if you want to get it right from the source, because the guy who's putting it all together, putting it in the bag, putting your address on it, putting the stamp on it, mailing it, you want Andrew Curry to be doing it himself, the producer of these albums, go to his Bandcamp website. Just go to bandcamp.com, Curry Cuts, C-U-R-R-Y Cuts, Curry Cuts. That's your best bet, because Andrew's doing it himself. He's putting it together and he's mailing it out to you, and maybe he'll write you a little thank you note or something. But I just think you'll be so happy with these folks. Check them out, check them out, check them out. I'm telling you, you're gonna love them. Especially you people in my age category, you know, going back to our youth and our childhood, and I think you're gonna love these things. All right. That's it. I just want to give a little plug to that. Thank you to Andrew Curry for producing these beautiful albums. Thanks to Stephen Schnee for the inspiration and for showing them off and getting me going on them. I love them. Looking forward to the next one that Curry Cuts produces. Have a great day, everyone. Check them out. God bless. Bye-bye. Keep listening to the music.